When I started, I didn't work at Restaurant Daniel. He hired me to be the chef at Cafe Boulud. So at that point in my career, I had plenty of offers to go do my own thing by myself at that point. I was 28. I had been working for 10 good straight years, a couple years in Europe, and I wanted to open and operate a restaurant as the chef, but with another chef, to have that that experience. So a lot of things I learned from Daniel were about the business end of things, and he gave me a lot of freedom there. The 6 years I was there, I co-opened the restaurant with Alex Lee at the time, and then a couple months later I went to Daniel. But Daniel gave me a lot of freedom to really cook the way I wanted to cook within the parameters of the restaurant, and it's really where I did what I love to do, which was I love Mexico. I love Thai food. I've been to Japan 3 times. Not that I believe in fusion cooking, but it was more about just extracting in kind of an anthropological way the things I love about different countries, and through the flavor profile and cooking that way. My mentors really, I think the biggest mentoring or the biggest influence really in my cooking life was Gray Kunz and Lespinasse in the early 90s. I worked there for 3 years. And that was really, like, culinary-wise, I think cooking-wise, a big part. Besides the European years, but really in New York that kind of shaped me. Just about layering flavors and, in the kitchen, a certain sense of professionalism and it's really flavor building, texture building. And it was a hot kitchen in the early 90s. It was the place to be, and I think a lot of techniques from there have stood the test of time, I think. So it was good for me. I think they used a spice, and Floyd Cardoz was working there then as a cook, and he and there were a lot of great cooks that went through there at that time. But Floyd and Gray started collaborating in a lot of spice usage, which a lot of techniques that I learned there, Indian techniques, Thai techniques, to treat those things properly, I think, in the context, cooking something Indian and as opposed to cooking something Thai, and you approach a northern Thai curry differently than you would a Goan curry, that they're not the same, that curry isn't just some ubiquitous word that means spices thrown in a broth and that's it. There's a way to approach it, a flavor profile to approach it, which was great. Well, I really think it's Daniel is really has a mini empire really, and the way he managed to keep the quality, and the way he manages, to keep his concepts successful individually, and it was just really looking at the business from a whole, because there's the art of making food, and there's the business of making food, and it's really 2 separate things that have to kind of coexist, and just watching that whole process happen was a real eye-opener.